The first carry now for Dalvin Cook. And an early how do you do right there as they're going to bury him in the backfield. It'll go as a loss of a yard on the game's first play. Second down.
Nice play right there to stop him behind the line, but I want to see how this defense continues to play him here in the first half.
Yeah, we know. You know better than I. He has the ability to take over a game, so what do?
Yeah, I think you have to make sure that you bottle him in at varying levels, because if you crowd everyone to the line of scrimmage, if he breaks through, it's nothing but room to run.
After the loss to start out, here's 2nd and 11. Give to Cook out of the gun. And he'll take it ahead to the 28-yard line.
On a 2nd and long, it's really nice to see an offense that has enough confidence to run the football in that situation. I think that goes back to their practice and game planning. They've seen things that they've seen on tape and in previous games that led them to believe that even in a long-distance situation, they can still run the football and gain enough yardage to put themselves in a good spot on 3rd down.
On 3rd down, Hodges setting up the screen for Cook. Skirts by him at the 35. And he gets this one just shy of the 40, down at the 39. 10 yards, and it's good for a Viking first down.
I like the screen being called here early in the game, especially on the opening drive, because, Brandon, when guys come out of the locker room, especially those pass rushers, they are so amped up to get to the quarterback that you can use that against them, and a screen pass is a great way of doing it. A lot of teams against good pass rushing teams, they want to run the screen 10 to 12 times in a game.
First down, here's the run with Cook. Looking for a seam, but finding none. He'll get back to the line of scrimmage, and that's it. Officially no gain on the play, and it's 2nd down. So after the run for no gain, here's 2nd and 10. Now Cook running right. And he's going to be stopped up quickly here. Just a yard up to the 39.
But we just saw a great example of what we talked about with his coach prior to the game. He's definitely one of the better linebackers at reading a play and flowing to make the stop before it turns into something big.
And it looks like we've got a dime set here defensively. 6 DBs in the game. From the gun on 3rd down, Hodges. And that is incomplete. That's a pretty good opening possession defensively.
And you know the goal is to make something of a statement, especially on the road with your first defensive possession, isn't it? Go right out and establish yourselves and let them know this is going to be tough going all game long.
They only punted twice in the win last week as he gets this one away. And that will bounce out of bounds before they can get a return going.
Talk about angling that one perfectly, partner. We know the ball can bounce anywhere, especially how it's shaped. But that one, as if on cue, goes out of bounds perfectly.
Perfect indeed, right at the 1-yard line. Excellent coffin corner punt. Now the former Terrapin, this is Ty Johnson. And he'll get this only up to about the 3-yard line. Making the stop there, Daniil Hunter.
What's the old expression, 3 yards in a cloud of dust? In this case, it's dust-covered pellets. It's no longer that old grass that we used to play on, right, and chew it up. Now we've got that artificial surface. You see the pellets go up. Still a nice play by the defense.
It's a foot race. He's at the 50, the 30, 10. Touchdown, Detroit. Ty Johnson, 97 yards, as his guys are able to strike first here in this opening quarter. An ideal start for them, really. You force the punt, and then you go down and score.
And you've got to see a fist pump on the sideline from the head coach, don't you? Because he's turned into his bench, and he's telling his team, this is how we prepare. Force the punt, go downfield and score. I told you guys, it's just like a boxer in the gym preparing for the fight. Now we get to turn it all loose.
After the touchdown, out is Prater to kick. This will be taken short. And he will take it back only to about the 13-yard line here.
Well, conventional football 101, tells us if you don't get it back to the 20-yard line on a kickoff return, that's a disappointment. But some of these teams, special teams coaches, with approval by the head coach, they give them full authority to go ahead and bring it out and try to be aggressive, almost what we call the green light, red light theory. Green light means go, red light means stop. Looks like he had green on that play.
Hey, Zoo! Ready?
Now Hodges on first down. Lets it fly for Thielen. Into double coverage, and it's intercepted. Picked off at the 38. And they will be set up now as he brings this thing all the way back inside the 20. He's on quite the interception run. He had 2 last week, another one here. Remember, he's not a DB, he's a linebacker.
But how many of those linebackers started as DBs and pumped themselves up into being linebackers? So the ball skills are the same, right? The coverage skills and responsibilities are the same, and he is paying it off in a big, big way. All right, quick observation, Brandon, because early on in this game, I'm seeing linebackers playing with their noses close to the line of scrimmage.
And my guess is the wheels are turning on that other sideline. As a play caller, you're filing that away right now, aren't you?
Yeah, you're trying to find that opportunity later on when you can play action them or stick something to them between the second and the third level.
Only 3 yards on the catch. It's third down. So they've been unable to capitalize on the great field position as of yet. Here's 3rd and 9. A shotgun snap for Stafford. And this is going to be incomplete. I don't want to blow it too out of proportion, but maybe circle this play, because if they get the stop and hold them to a field goal here, that's a pretty good job. They're already down on the scoreboard.
A stop now would be vital for them, because it could save them from having to do it multiple times later in the game in order to either get back into it or maybe have a chance to win.
And the 14-year trusty veteran able to knock it through, and the lead moves to 10-zip. They got the interception, but very little movement after, and that forces them to settle for 3. And it does feel like settling when that happens, doesn't it?
It certainly does, but we got to give a lot of credit where it's due, and that's to the defense, because they ran onto the field. This is what we call sudden change, right? Interception, you got to go put out the fire, and they did, holding them to a field goal.
The Minnesota offense about ready to get this next drive underway. They find themselves down 10-0 early after the interception on their opening drive led to a field goal.
So now they've got to pick up the mantle a little bit. You mentioned the team's down 10. They've helped contribute to that. How are they going to get their team back into this ball game? Run the offense that you think is going to be effective and execute it at a high level.
They'll break the huddle, come up on 2nd and 8 at the 27-yard line. Now a man open down the middle of the field. The reception good for 7. It's 3rd down.
One thing you're hoping for when you run drag routes, you're able to hit a receiver in stride, and he can pick up a lot of yardage after the catch. But in this situation, the defense was effective, able to stop him before he could get a good head of steam going.
And Cook was fighting for it, but I don't think he got there. 10-0 the score after 1 on EA Sports. He gets us away. It's a good one, drawing toward the sidelines. And this works out well as it'll kick out of bounds at the 11-yard line. The Lions offense ready to kick off their next drive. And they split the uprights last time for 3. They've got the lead. They're not going to play this conservative. They're not hoping for another field goal. They're hoping for a touchdown. And he's going to be taken down, sacked back at the 2. Danielle Hunter has now recorded 10 sacks on the season.
I think most quarterbacks would love to have the goal line actually extend up into the air and turn into a wall. They can put their back against it and know exactly where they are on the field so they don't end up in the end zone. Didn't do it on that play, but perilously close to the goal line.
And he'll be a couple yards shy of the 20 at the 18. They get 16 out of that one, but they'll still need to convert on 3rd. Stafford on 3rd down. And a quick throw here, that's complete. And they do finally get him down, but not before he reaches the 41. A huge play there on the screen pass. 41 yards. So the big play gets him across midfield now for 1st and 10. They're going draw play. Stafford to Johnson. And if there was a lane there, it closed up quickly as he stopped for no gain. 2nd down. If this defense wants to stay in this ballgame, they've got to start ending some drives. That helps.
And they have to look ahead at what they expect the offense to do. And right now with that lead, that's run the football. So you don't just stack the line of scrimmage. You have to get upfield and try and make some plays in their backfield.
Under pressure, and he will go down. Sacked back at the 46. Danielle Hunter in there to drop him for his 11th sack of the year. After the sack, Stafford and the Lions come up on a 3rd and long situation. He finds his man Johnson, and he'll get it down here to the 43. They do get 10 back, but still a ways to go on 4th.
That's certainly playing down and distance very well by the defense, isn't it? Take whatever you want underneath, by all means.
Colquitt on to kick as he sends it away. Oh, he's going to go ahead and field it from the 3-yard line. A great return there, bobbing and weaving his way for 31 yards. And the Vikings will take over here 1st and 10. Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. And still no points on the scoreboard. You're coming off of the 3 and out. They're just looking for anything to grab onto right now, aren't they?
I'm wondering if someone's going to take charge in the huddle. You know, we always look to the quarterback, but sometimes it's another player on the team, a star, a veteran, someone with some excitement and energy. It's like, all right, guys, let's shake things up and let's go, because they still have an opportunity to make things happen.
Shake it off. Hodges now. And under the Lions' pressure, he's brought down. 1:58 left to play till we hit halftime. And we'll remind you that coming up at halftime, we'll join Jonathan Coachman and the gang in Orlando. Coach will have stats and scores from the early games going on here around the NFL. He's going to fire this thing deep right sideline. And it's knocked away and incomplete. The 2017 All-Pro Darius Slay there in coverage, knocking it away.
Certainly looked like they were getting ready to convert there on 3rd down, but what an effort to get his hand on that one, knock it away, and brings up a 4th down decision.
Taking it about the 16. A good return there, 17 yards. And the Lions will take over. The Lions offense ready to kick off their next drive. They've got the lead. Last time had to punt it, though. What's the key to this drive?
I think it's leverage. The big guys up front. You know the motivational speech on the sideline is, guys, give us an opportunity. Protect the passer, create space for our runners, and let's go ahead and get these guys. Low man wins. Let's go do it on this drive.
We'll watch that leverage on this drive. From the 41, Stafford, and this one incomplete. Too much contact to hold on to that one, and it's 3rd down.
That's very well timed there defensively, because it's not a bad throw, but the collision came at the exact time he was reaching to bring in the football. Really, really well done.
Decent offense, just better defense. I think you're right. Now the throw on 3rd down, knocked away and incomplete.
Not only was the call spot on, how about the execution of that defense right there? The zone was absolutely locked up tight. He was trying to force it in there on 3rd down.
But if there's a time to force it, he felt like he needed to make a play, right?
Yeah, exactly right. 3rd down, you got to try and find something. There's nothing available there for him.
At their own 14-yard line.
The Minnesota offense about ready to get this next drive underway. And in a spot like this, still more than a minute, I think if you put something on the board before halftime, that would go a long way towards helping them get back into the game.
There actually is something to the psychology of the game at times, isn't there? how much better would they feel running into the locker room, as you noted, with something on the board in a positive fashion? You're exactly right. It's a great opportunity to get that done.
So they'll come up 1st and 10 now from the 33. On 1st and 10, it's Hodges. He's got it complete to Stephon Diggs. And he gets this up across the 35 before he's out of bounds. The completion good for 3, and it's 2nd down. That 1st down completion only netted him 3. 2nd and 7. He rifles one that's intercepted. Picked off around the 41. And they have possession, and they have it at the 38-yard line.
250.
After the interception, here's Stafford. Oh, a ball batted in the air, and now it's intercepted. Picked off by the linebacker, Eric Kendricks. And they will take over at the 29-yard line. Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. And you're under a minute to go in the half, a first half that hasn't been particularly kind to you. How do you think they'll play this?
Well, I think the smart approach is to run out the clock, lick your wounds at the half, and see if you can come up with a strategy to play better in the second. But there's also something to challenging your offense right here. You know, hey, guys, you help dig this hole. See if you can get us out of it a little bit before the half runs out. Let's go make some plays.
Play action. It's Hodges. Here as he's taken down. The Lions will use the first of their timeouts as the clock will stop with just under 30 seconds to go in the first half. After the sack, they'll come up now 3rd and long.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised to see them run the ball here just to try and get some space.
No run call here. They'll look to throw instead. It's complete to Diggs. And able to get this across the 20 before going out of bounds. They do get 9, but it leads to 4th down.
One of the money routes for any offense, the drag route. So tough to defend because the receiver can stop at any point and make himself available to the quarterback and get a completion. But I love the communication we saw there. All the defenders pointing out the receiver, where he was going, and then they're able to rally to the ball after the catch and stop him short of a 1st down.
Well, that looked for a second like he might take it all the way, but as it stands, it's still a massive return. And control of the football switching hands with very little time remaining until the half. The 1st down carry here for Johnson. And a short pickup there down to about the 9. Now whistles and a timeout with 3 seconds left in the first half. So 3 seconds here remain in the half. On is the field goal unit to see about getting 3 points. From the left hash, should be a fairly easy one here. And Prater's kick is on the money. It's good. So we've reached the intermission in what right now is a 13-point game. As we'll send you down to Orlando, and we check in with Jonathan Coachman for our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach. The Lions in the lead, and they're going to get the football first as well as the second half is underway. That'll be taken in the end zone. And he's up past the 20 to the 22-yard line. The Lions offense ready to kick off their next drive. They built a good first half lead. Now they have a chance to add on to it.
And what I'm thinking is that the offensive staff spent the entire halftime just working with them on, here's what we think they're going to do to attack us in the second half. Nice first half that we've had, guys, but be prepared for some change-ups. We're going to see them when we kick it off in the second half.
See how they handle any adjustments that might be made defensively. They go to Johnson again. And he's able to get out to the 32, brought down there. A gain of 5, good enough for the first down.
They're trying to show that they can run the ball and protect this lead. Give it to the backs, play a little bit of keep away, don't you think?
And that's probably a good philosophy at this point, going to make that defense stand up and stop them. 3 yards on the pickup there, and it'll be second down.
Third quarter, and you've got the lead. You're not ready to go into that 4-minute offense to close the game out, but a running game can really benefit your team right now.
On second down, it's Johnson. Call it a gain of 5 there on the run, but they'll remain a yard or two short here with third down coming up. They'll try and run for it. Here's Johnson. Yeah, boy, from up here, I don't think Johnson got there. No, he did not. A loss of a yard, and it brings up fourth.
You know, it's become cliche, but we have seen it and observed it. When runners have days like what we're seeing right now, they often take their offensive linemen out for steaks afterwards, don't they? They'll go buy them dinner. But after a play like that, he might reduce it, might go to the corner and just grab a hot dog or two, huh?
Hey, I mean, they've still been blocking for him well in this game. They don't get one mulligan up front.
Okay, so what we're saying then is we're going petite filet instead of porterhouse. How's that?
8 ounce is good.
All right, just checking.
The Minnesota offense about ready to get this next drive underway. These guys had to punt their last possession, and that's become too familiar of a refrain. Too many of these drives just wound up going nowhere.
Well, you know how in baseball when the pitcher gets a base hit and he's on base, they bring his jacket out to him to keep him warm? A lot of times the punter goes to the sideline, puts on sweatpants or a wrap over his leg to keep it warm. He might need a massage from the trainer right now from all the work he's getting.
And that one covered beautifully. Their defenders stayed home, and they'll stop him behind the line. Call it a loss of 2 on the play. And it's third down. From the gun, it's Hodges. And the Lions pressure too strong. Down he goes. Deshaun Hand. He's the one to get him, and that is sack number 7 for him on the year. Here's Cameron Johnston now as the drive goes backwards, so he's on to punt it away. And he deserves a bronze leg as he gets this one away. This is taken at the 23. Well, he wasn't too far from breaking that. Officially, give him 15. And possession will switch hands, 1st and 10. The Lions offense ready to kick off their next drive. This crew had to punt last time they had the ball, but when you've got a lead like this, you content to play the field position game?
You are to an extent, especially if you like your defense, because you have the lead, you've been controlling the game. But why put them in a tougher spot? You want to get out there and get something done on offense and maybe take command of this game yourself.
From the 41, Stafford. And the pressure gets to him and brings him down. Stafford is sacked. Danielle Hunter racking up sack number 12 for him on the year. Great job defensively. I think he was trying to go through his progressions, find someone to get rid of the football. Before he knew it, he was on his back.
So that just brings us right back to what you said in the beginning. A great job defensively. Nowhere to go with the football. That led to the sack.
Quick hitter here. It's complete. They get 7 there, but it brings up 4th.
Whether you're playing West Coast offense or not, one of the maxims of the West Coast offense is you're either throwing a touchdown or a check down. In other words, look for the big shot, but be smart. And I think they did exactly that on that play. They didn't get the first down, but they're taking care of the ball well.
Yeah, and being rightly cautious with that lead here in the second half. And we return, welcoming you back to Minneapolis as we're about ready to rock and roll for the 4th and final quarter. And he gets it away, a directional kick going toward the sideline. And no return here. Where will they spot it? They say just outside the 20-yard line. Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. And you're still in this game. I mean, yeah, you haven't scored. Offense obviously has struggled, but you're only 2 scores down, so all hope not lost.
Not at all.
And he's going to be intercepted a 3rd time. Darius Slay with a pick. And he will bring it back. An interception return for a Lions touchdown. So now Stafford will bring up the Lions, and they'll go for 2. That's the story of the game. They've been suffocating all game long on defense. They were suffocating there again in a big way.
And they've done it not just by out-athleting them, which is often the case, but by being able to adjust to anything they tried to throw at them and beating them to the punch each and every time. This was a defense that was well prepared.
Let's go! Let's go! Let's go!
At their own 25-yard line.
The Minnesota offense about ready to get this next drive underway. And let's face it, this drive is not going to have any bearing on this game, but it's kind of important for one reason, isn't it?
It certainly is. You got to get points. And, okay, all right, I'm being facetious here. But you get points, you feel a little bit better about yourself as you move on to the next one.
A gain of 6 there on first. Now it's Hodges. Decent start to the drive, but let's face it, they need a lot of things to go right in a short amount of time down 3 scores.
Yeah, they're going to run their 2-minute offense here in this game, but this is for future games. Can they get better and be ready for the next time, hopefully with a chance to win?
10 yards, and it's good for a Viking first down.
51 to Mike. Switch up, switch up. 51, go.
On first down, here's Hodges. He's going to fire one, and his pass is intercepted for the 4th time today. Picked by Tracy Walker, and his guys are going to take over at the 34-yard line. The Lions offense ready to kick off their next drive. Now that turnover might just about do it here. 4th quarter, the lead that you've got, they can just run the football, run the clock.
You're exactly right. They played smart, a couple of first downs, and this one should just about be over.
Give them 3 on first down. It'll set up a 2nd and 7. The last run got 3. Now here's 2nd and 7.
Double time.
Again, it's Johnson. And he'll be taken down at the 46-yard line. 9 yards to pick up there, and it's a first down.
Well, I don't think there's any question, Brandon, at this stage. The stop troops, the defensive guys, they got to use their 3 timeouts here. They've got to stop them and get the ball back.
Yeah, if you're in that 2 to 3 score deficit window that they're in now, you got to get it ASAP.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Stop them, use your timeouts. Easier to move the ball on offense without timeouts than to stop them on defense without using them.
From Viking territory now, they'll come up 1st and 10 at the 38. Stafford going to give this one off to Johnson. And nothing doing. He's immediately taken down at the line of scrimmage. He was taken down by Quentin Dunbar. You don't see that a ton, do you? The cornerback coming over to the middle of the field to make a run tackle.
That's someone with a ton of confidence to feel like nothing is pressuring him on his side of the field. Sees that the ball's moved to the middle and just sprints over there to help out. He ends up getting the tackle. Well played.
And we are inside of 2 minutes left in this lopsided affair. So the Lions in possession of the football as we welcome you back. They've got a 3rd down now as they look for one more first down to help salt this one away. This is Bawden. And he will have a first down at about the 21-yard line. It's a 7-yard gain there, and it's good enough to move the chains.
I know this game's winding down and people are getting tired, and that's when you really want a big-body guy running the football. But I have to tell you, watching him run it, I wonder why they don't use him more earlier in the game.
Yeah, those bigger guys here late in the game, you're trying to protect the lead, usually not as fumble-prone either.
No, that is so true because they are taught. Take care of the ball as you surge forward, and you often see them with both hands wrapped around it when they go through the line.
After the pickup of 5, here's 2nd and 5. Now a 10th carry for Johnson. And he'll take this one down near the 15. A minimal gain there on the 8th play of the drive. This defense against the run, by the way, they're not top 5, but they are top 10.
So what's your philosophy here? Do you try and run the ball against a team that's pretty good against the run? What if you're a pretty good running team? If so, you might want to go ahead and run it anyway because that's your strength.
So this one's